guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber, and this is from a guy. He's looking for some help in the self-improvement department. This is a guy who spent his life in the military. He's a combat veteran, and now he works as a truck driver, and over the years of being on the go all the time, he's put on some weight. So he's looking for my advice on what things he can do to get back to his former glory. Because as I mentioned before in other videos, guys, I'm also a personal trainer. That was my main business. I own my own personal training company until YouTube took off. And now I still see certain clients, part-time, but YouTube is now full-time business for me. But I've been doing this for a long time, so obviously this is my area that I know I can help people out in. And I'm doing this video, guys, in particular because this guy, his issue is not only is he getting up, he's aging, he's 47. He's not old because, I'm 43, so of course 47 isn't old in my opinion anymore. But it's not as easy as it once was when he was younger. And this guy's always on the go. And I'm doing this because a lot of people have jobs and careers that require them to constantly be on the go. And for many of you guys that had that kind of work, it can be very difficult squeezing in gym time and finding healthy meals to eat and all that while you're constantly flying or driving or something like that. So I'm doing this that I can help some of you guys out that may fall into that situation. So I'm going to go through his email here. I'm going to get some tips and suggestions on things that I can help this guy out, anybody else for that matter, in the same situation. So he starts off, he says, "Dear SSM, I am a 47-year-old male and I've been following your channel for about a year now. I would guess you could say that I have been crimson capsuled. God forbid I say the other thing, which you guys know I'm talking about, because that's forbidden now, apparently. I've been that way since 2009 without even noting anything about the manosphere. That was when my second divorce was final. I am a combat veteran, but no longer in the military." Well, thank you for your service, sir. "I was introduced to the Crimson Capsule by Terrence Pop, and that is how I found your channel. Ever since my last divorce, I've been doing everything I can to improve myself and my situation." Awesome, bro. That's great. A lot of guys, after a couple of bad marriages, tend to just fall into a hole and never get out of it again, and it's certainly understandable in that case where you may feel like a failure and just food and alcohol is the only outlet for stress and all that, but you can't let yourself fall in that situation. So good that you're working hard to improve yourself, even a little bit every day at a time. And there's going to be days when you may not feel like doing it. You may feel like you haven't gotten anywhere, but just you got to get out of bed and keep on grinding to improve yourself. That goes for this guy and anybody else listening to this situation. He says, "I began investing in stocks and crypto within the last year. Being ex-military, I have always been in good physical shape. However, a couple weeks ago, I got a wake-up call about that though." He says, "I currently work as an OTR truck driver and have been for the past 8 years. A couple weeks ago, I had to renew my DOT physical. During this exam, I was asked to step on the scale and was alarmed by what I heard. I've always averaged between 150 to 160 pounds, but when the nurse read off my weight at 178, I was shocked." Yeah, that's a big jump between 150 and 160 all the way to 178. Now, I'm kind of surprised you didn't notice where your clothes were starting to get a little tight on you, but maybe you always had loose-fitting clothes so you didn't really notice, or maybe you didn't want to notice. Some people tend to not want to notice those type of things. But when that number's on the scale, now keep in mind, if you've been lifting and you put on more muscle mass, then obviously that's a different ball game, but it doesn't sound like you have been able to do that. He says, "I was shocked. The heaviest I've ever been was 174, and that was right after I got out of basic training." Yeah, and you were in your 20s, and they had you doing all this physical exercise, and you obviously probably bulked up a little bit, but obviously that's been a long time since then. He says, "After learning this information, I know what my focus needs to be. This is where I would like some advice and guidance. Due to my job, joining a gym isn't really an option. I do try to eat as healthy as possible, but that can be really difficult because of not having much space in the truck for healthy food storage and preparation. I can, however, try to adapt an exercise routine to get back into shape. What advice can you give on that? Also, what is the best time for this? When I wake up or before I go to sleep? Any advice will be helpful." He says, "Your channel has helped me stay on my path and continue to chase excellence. Thank you for all that you do." Okay, so I'm going to guess you're obviously traveling, You're in the truck all the time. So what I would do, and this is in no particular order, first things first is, since you obviously want to get back into working out. Now there's working out and there's obviously food, eating healthy food. Those are two important parts. Primarily for body fat loss, it's going to come down to diet, what you eat, okay? And that is the hardest things for most people. Most people are willing to go to the gym or work out at home multiple times a week. But if it is ever suggested that they alter their diet in any way, shape, or form, they sometimes almost have a meltdown, or they look at you like you're asking them to give up their firstborn child. But you got to make the changes in the food department to get where you want to be body fat wise. Exercise will help to an extent, but the real impact is from food, okay? And a lot of people do not want to hear that. Now, before I get into this, let me just make this clear, a little disclaimer here. I am not a registered dietitian. I'm not a nutritionist, Okay, I am a certified personal trainer, and I know I've learned these things about food and all that throughout my life and things I've read, but I'm not certified. So a little disclaimer there. You do this, you're on your own, okay? And any major changes to this guy or anybody's diet, consult a physician first. I just got to say that. That being said, yes, food is absolutely important, but I'm going to come to that at the end. But in regards to a gym, since this guy is always on the road, I would recommend for him and anybody else that's always on the road as a trucker or something like that, that perhaps you can consider looking at types of gyms that have gyms all over the country. For an instance, Planet Fitness. I'm not getting anything from Planet Fitness, so don't even think I'm getting something for recommending this. It's just an example. Planet Fitness is expanding everywhere. And for a regular membership, give or take, is $10 a month. Now they do have a deal where you can get a black card, and I believe it's $20 a month, and therefore then you can then train at any Planet Fitness anywhere. So if you're a guy traveling around all the time for your job and you need a place for just a quick workout, if you became a Planet Fitness member for the $20 a month instead of the $10 a month, while you're on the road, you can obviously look to see in your trek wherever you're going, is there a Planet Fitness anywhere nearby that you could just stop, pull over, go get your workout in, continue on your trek, if that's allowed. I have no idea how this all works, but you know what I mean. And that way then you can figure it out and you can have a way to, if you make a plan for this, you can have access to the gym. Or if there's another national chain, kind of like Planet Fitness in terms of, relatively inexpensive per month, but lots of gyms around the country, and you can then obviously hop in and go and want to do a workout when you have the chance when you're on the road. Just an idea there to look into that. Obviously, every time you're traveling on the road, you got to look and see where they are and plan it out. But you're not going to get anywhere in life without planning things out. So that's an option. Another thing you can do is you can I've never actually been in one of these giant ass trucks, but I know they got the thing in the back where they got like a little bed and some storage area. You could put in some good resistance bands. Go to the store like Dick's Sporting Good or Target, get some really different resistance bands of different challenging bands. They're lightweight, they're easily compact, bring them along. Maybe you get some light dumbbells, you can put them back in the truck with you. And that way then in your motel room, or if you actually sleep in the truck in the back, you can at least have some of this equipment and do some exercises with it. That's something the movie Over the Top with Rocky, with Sylvester Stallone, the arm wrestling movie. He's a trucker. He has that thing hooked up where he's doing his arm wrestling while he's driving on the road. You want to do that? Do that. But my point is, bring some basic equipment on your journey, and you can do some of that. That goes for this guy and anybody else. And you can also do that workout with your own body weight, or if you're done for the day and you go do a run, just anything you can think of. Body weight exercises, the resistance band, running, whatever. Be creative, but just make it happen, and that, again, for this guy or anybody else. Another thing is, if you're staying actually in motels, if you're not sleeping in the back of the truck in the cab, or whatever the hell they call it, you can bring the equipment in the room and do a workout in the nice air-conditioned motel room. Or if in the motel or hotel they have a small gym, make use of that. He asked about working out at nighttime or the morning. That's going to depend on you, man. For me, my best time that I like to work out with actually is the middle of the day, typically between about 11 o'clock in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. That's when I usually have a break for my personal training clients. Okay, that just works for me. Or at night. But I can't work out in the morning. I'm not a morning person. I hate to work out in the morning. But if you like it, if you can get up and be full energy and do it, go right ahead. Or if you're like me and you're better off in the afternoon and night, do it then. But whatever works best for you. But a lot of people do it in the beginning of the day because they know darn well they're never going to do it at the end of a busy work day. So they get out in the morning, okay? And in regards to food, again, this is unbelievably important for body fat loss. I'd recommend in the back of the truck, in the cooler, storing as much good healthy food as possible. Good fruits that you can eat. Okay, they're easily you can easily peel back a banana, chow down on an apple, orange, whatever. Fruit is great for you. You can also make some salads if you want. If you're really dedicated, you know, certain grocery stores you can go into and make salads and have them in there. I mean, it's not the ideal situation, but you can do that if you want to. You can also have some lean meats like roasted chicken or turkey and have it in a wrap, not bread, but actually a wrap, so it's less calories and points if you do Weight Watchers. I would greatly minimize the dairy. Dairy is a big one that can put on weight. I mean, I'm not saying go militant, you can't ever have dairy, but I'm just being honest here. Honestly, dairy, breads, alcohol, sugared foods, and fast foods are your worst enemy, and I'd avoid those like the plague, you know. Obviously, occasionally you can have some treats. And then, of course, you know, when you obviously go somewhere to eat healthy food. End of story. It's not rocket science. Avoid the fast food places, the McDonald's. I mean, McDonald's is a great company, don't get me wrong, but just avoid the fast food, Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, whatever, all that. Clean, healthy, good food. Even if it costs you a little bit more money, it's worth it in the end. And I guarantee you, to this guy and anybody else that does traveling a lot, if you're disciplined when you go to eat, and you eat the very healthy stuff on the plate, not the tempting, you know, burgers and fries and hot dogs and things like that, but actually good, like, you know, seafood meals, good grilled fish of some sort, salmon, swordfish, tuna, as long as you're obviously not allergic to it. Obviously, grilled chicken, that type of thing, grilled, not fried. And obviously good, healthy green vegetables, that's always king. So between the exercise you can squeeze in, the good food that you can pack with you in the truck, you know, the fruits and things like that, even some salads, lean meats for some wraps, and obviously eating well at the different places where you go to eat. And of course, finding a time and a way to get some exercise in. You do this consistently, you will see improvement, guaranteed. But you're 47, so it's not as easy as it was when you were 27. I'm telling you right now, I can't do things like I used to, and it takes me a lot longer to recuperate from workouts. I've had some injuries in the last few years I never got when I was younger, because even though I'm very careful. So it will take longer than you used to, but you will get there. You got to be consistent about it. And again, this goes for anybody else. So, but it's very hard for a lot of people when they're constantly traveling. I got a female client. It's the same thing with her. Back before COVID, she was traveling sometimes 20 days of the month, you know, and we meet when we meet, you know, and I would tell her some workouts that she can do, but it was not easy. So, but anyhow, just a quick tip on these things. I thought I could help this guy out, anybody else in that situation, but just apply these methods, apply these techniques, give them a shot. I think it will definitely have some time. And give yourself a reasonable time frame to actually start making a difference with regards to these changes. At least 6 months, if not a year, but you will see progress. So, but hopefully this will help this guy out, anybody else in that situation. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. If any of you guys can think of anything else that can help out, please comment below. I may have forgotten something. Anybody that are trainers or anybody else that does a lot of traveling on the road all the time, you know, things that you may do that help out, comment below and help this guy out. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below again and like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.